All right, future CPAs, listen up. Every single accountant has to solve this one classic mystery, the case of the two different cash balances. Seriously, it's a puzzle you absolutely have to nail, not just for your job, but to crush the LXPA. So let's get our detective hats on and crack this thing.
So, picture this. You look at your company's books and it says you've got 1,354,287 pesos sitting in the bank. Nice. But then the bank statement gets here and the number is, well, it's different. It's always different. So what's really going on? Is somebody wrong? Or even worse, is money actually missing?
And this is our mission. A bank reconciliation isn't just about finding a typo. Nope, it's a full-on investigation. It's the process of figuring out exactly why those two numbers don't line up until they do. It's all about finding that one single true cash balance in all the noise.
Okay, let's officially open the case. Why are these two things, our own books and the bank's records, telling completely different stories? The answer is probably the first big clue you're going to need for your exams.
And here it is. The number one reason this happens, like 99% of the time, is just timing. I mean, think about it. Your company records a transaction the second it happens, but the bank, they only record it when it actually clears their system. So it's not about who's right or wrong, it's about who knows what and when they know it. Our job is to bridge that gap.
Let's start with our first set of clues. We're talking about all the transactions that we, as the company, have already recorded, but the bank just has no idea about them. Yet. First up, deposits in transit. So, say you get some cash from a customer at like 4 p.m. on the last day of the month. You log it in your books immediately because you're on top of it. But the bank, it's closed. You can't actually deposit that cash until tomorrow. So for that one night, your books show the money, but the bank is totally clueless. So the key takeaway here is pretty simple. To make things right, we have to tell the bank's balance about this money. So you always add deposits in transit to the bank's balance. Just lock that into your memory right now. Let's make it real. In this case, we're looking at, from a company called MSU Inc., there was a deposit in transit for exactly 57,500 pesos. This was cash they recorded in December, but it didn't actually hit the bank account till January. This is clue number one. Okay, our second clue on the bank side is the total opposite, outstanding checks. You write a check to a supplier, right? You immediately subtract it from your cash balance in your books. But that supplier, they might just leave that check in their wallet for a week before cashing it. And until they do, the bank has no idea you've spent that money. So naturally, we have to adjust the bank's balance for these checks. We always subtract outstanding checks from the bank balance. It's money that's basically already gone, even if it's still technically in the account.
And what's this clue worth? 132,025 pesos. That's the grand total of all the checks MSU Inc. wrote and recorded. But they're still out there, just floating around, waiting to be cashed.
All right, we've handled the bank side of the story. Now let's flip the script. Time to look at the things the bank knows about, but we don't. At least, not yet. These are the little surprises that pop up on the bank statement that we have to deal with.
And these surprises usually come in two flavors, credit memos and debit memos. Here's an easy way to think about it. A credit memo means the bank is adding money to your account. Sweet. A debit memo means the bank is taking money out. Not so sweet. It's that simple.
And these are the usual suspects you're going to see on the exam. You know, things like bank service charges, a little interest your account earned, or maybe the bank collected a payment for you. On the other side, they might have made an automatic payment you forgot about. And then there's the one that's always a pain, the NSF check. NSF, it stands for non-sufficient funds. Basically, a customer's check bounced. Ouch! You thought you had the money, you deposited it, everything was great, but the bank couldn't actually collect it from their account. So the bank takes that money back out of yours, and you usually only find out when you see that debit memo. In our case, that's an 8,500 peso clue that we now have to subtract from our books.
And look, let's be real. Sometimes we just make mistakes. It happens. In this case, a rent check was written for 24,600 pesos, but the bookkeeper accidentally typed it in as 26,400. Whoops. We recorded that we spent P1,800 more than we actually did. To fix it, we just have to add that money back to our book balance. Easy fix.
All right, detective, we've gathered all our clues. We know what the bank doesn't know, and we know what we didn't know. Now it's time to put it all together and solve this case once and for all. This is the big reveal. And here it is. This is our solution board.
Look, on the left, we take the bank's balance and we adjust for the stuff it doesn't know about yet, our deposits in transit and those outstanding checks. Then, on the right, we take our book balance and we adjust for all the surprises we just found out about. That little book error, the bank charge, the bounce check, and that automatic mortgage payment.
And that's the entire point. That's the whole game. After you do all the adding and subtracting, the goal is to make these two sides match. The two question marks at the bottom have to become the exact same number. And that final number, that's your true, adjusted cash balance. That's the real number that goes on your financial statements.
Okay, case closed. But how do we make sure this sticks in your brain for the next 3 years until you're sitting for the LECPA? Let's do a super quick, rapid-fire review. These are the hacks you need to remember.
Okay, for the bank side, it's a two-step dance. You add the money the bank hasn't seen yet, your deposits in transit. Then you subtract the checks you wrote that haven't been cashed yet, your outstanding checks. And if the bank messed up, you fix that. That's it. Did adds, OC subtracts. Simple. Got it?
Now for your side, the book side. Just think about the memos. If the bank gives you a credit memo, that's more money for you, so you add it. If they hit you with a debit memo, they're taking money out, so you subtract it. Then you just have to fix your own mistakes. So credit memos add, debit memos subtract. That's the core of it.
So there you have it. You cracked the case. You've reconciled the two balances and found the one true cash number. You bridged the gap. But here's something to think about. That one little adjusted number, it isn't just the answer to a quiz problem. It's the foundation for everything else. How does getting this one number right end up affecting the entire balance sheet, the income statement, and the cash flow statement? Well, that's the next mystery to solve.